welcome to Ladies of Another View on Beck on this beautiful Tuesday after Easter.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
it's Tuesday already?
Yeah, I thought it was Monday.
I know.
Didn't you?
I did too.
That's right,
Oh,
Tuesday.
no.
We got to catch up.
Totally.
Anyway, I'm Mary, and this, of course, is Kendi. Kendi Spice, we decided to
Oh,
call
gosh.
her.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then we have Jan Nice, okay? Kendi Spice, Jan Nice, and
Oh no.
I can be Peppermint Patty.
There you
Peppermint
go.
Patty. All right, you can tell
Oh,
that
dear.
maybe we've eaten a little bit too much Easter candy over the weekend, but it sure was a beautiful weekend, wasn't it,
Oh,
for Easter?
gosh.
Beautiful.
I was so
Can't
glad to
beat
have
it.
the nice weather.
I mean, growing up over Easter, I can remember having lots of snow, or else I've even remember coming home through country roads and having roads washed out with spring flooding. And so it's just, all these memories always come up with these different holidays. But my kids were home. I had 3 home from college, and the three went back. So we took a horse and a girl home to Fargo, and 2 kids up to UND. But how about you guys? Did you have family, friends? What did we do for Easter?
So I went with some friends, and we got together on Saturday and had a really good time. And then Sunday actually was my birthday too.
Yay! Happy birthday!
Wow. And so I actually got to go on a motorcycle ride, which I've done before, but this was totally different. I won't get into the details, but it was a blast. So
Awesome.
Oh, we stayed home. We kept it pretty quiet and enjoyed the outdoors. My husband's just kind of recouping right now, so we're taking it a little bit easy.
That's right,
Traveling
he
will come further
had,
down. Shingles.
Shingles, really bad case of shingles, and he's doing better now.
Very much better.
Good, good, good.
Oh,
Glad to
thank
hear that.
goodness. Yeah, yeah, we were feeling his pain.
Oh.
We were,
We saw some
Sharing,
photos, and I
yeah.
tell you what, you don't want shingles.
no.
But
no.
you don't want the vaccine either. No, I'm just
So
kidding.
we've heard.
You do too. You do you.
So,
And how about you, Patty? Did you have kids home?
Yes, so
20, 30
5
kids that you have?
Well, yeah, and multiplying and counting. So we had 5 little ones, 3 and under, for an Easter egg hunt.
Oh.
And that was fun. It was fun because at that age you just lay everything in plain sight, and they still are challenged. And
So you didn't have to try so hard.
right, yeah, but it's fun. Just even the older ones have fun.
I know, it's so funny because, these kids, it's like, I can't find my shoes, I can't find my books, where's my backpack? But they can spot an Easter egg like a half a mile away, right?
Absolutely.
Camouflage
As
behind
a matter
something.
of fact, I'm glad you mentioned that because when the kids were little and, you say, hey, pick up your room, and they're like,
Right.
And I said, just pretend they're Easter eggs. Like, they have so much energy for that. I said, pretend you're on an Easter egg hunt and go.
How
and
did
grab
that work
everything."
for you,
Yeah.
Patty?
What's that?
I said, how'd that work for you?
Well, I don't remember getting a big result.
It didn't.
I can't wait to go pick up my clothes.
No, what we did when we would fold laundry, I had an idea. I'd have the kids around the room, and anything that was theirs, I would throw to them, and they had to try to catch it on the first try, and then they would fold it, and everybody had their piles. So
that's all right.
So, if you want to get a little enthusiasm around laundry time, try that.
All
Or you could try I Spy.
There you go.
Pick a color, pick a shape. Whatever's on there, you have to pick up.
There you go.
Perfect. Well, we're going to dive right into what we have been working on. Last Thursday, we went to the Freedom Gala, and all of us were there, actually. And if you want to pop up the picture, we got our photo with Tammy Clark and Kristen Megan. Now, Tammy was a Zoom guest on our show last week as well, and just very, very informational. Both of the gals have ties with OSHA, and so they talked a lot about the face masks and how nobody has talked to OSHA about getting face masks approved for this pandemic. And so that's what the whole deal was. And it's like the way that people are putting their masks on and off doesn't meet any OSHA standards. You're supposed to pick it up out of the box, buy the elastic, and put it over your ears. And if you touch it one time, you remove that mask, throw it away, and put on a fresh one. Those are OSHA standards.
So I really had a great time at that rally. Well, it's a gala. I guess it wasn't a rally. But I just loved being around so many people that wanted to learn more and were supporting freedom. And that was the main message. The message was not, you can't wear a mask or you shouldn't wear a mask. It was mostly, you should be able to choose if you want to wear a mask. And so I was very encouraged by their message and what they shared.
So these photos that are popping up right now are actually from the Capitol, which was yesterday. So there were two different events. The ones at the outdoor photos that you're seeing here, that was at the Capitol. And Jan, actually, you attended that.
I did. These kids, they were so delightful. I am Facebook friends with their mom, so I got a chance to see these signs made ahead of time. And when they all sat down together, I'm like, oh, this is the perfect photo op. These kids are adorable, and their messages were very true. You know, the children are the ones that are suffering most through this whole pandemic, and they're the ones that are suffering the psychological, emotional, and physical traumas from the mask wearing. And the whole idea of that Freedom Gala, not the gala, excuse me, the rally at the Capitol, so that we don't mix up the two, was for people to support that parents should have a right to choose the medical care for their children, that individual adults also should have that right, because the government is not our doctor. The government is there to protect our freedoms, and one of those freedoms is that we get to choose what happens to our bodies. That's bodily autonomy. And for as long as they aren't providing that service for us, I could think of a bunch of different things that the government shouldn't get from us either. And one of them is cooperation.
You know, one of the things that I appreciated at the gala is that the understanding that even people that are pro-mask wearing, which I think everybody should have the right to do that if they want to, obviously, no one's going to stop them, but almost nobody's wearing their masks correctly. And Mary touched on that, you know, you're supposed to just pick it up from the ends and put it on. And they did a little experiment where they put this powder on the masks, but you couldn't see it, but it showed up with ultraviolet lights. And they instructed the people, now do not touch your mask, because once you do, it's contaminated and you're supposed to get a new mask. And what they did then later, they came back and said, okay, did you touch your mask? And they put ultraviolet lights on, and they had powder all over their hair and their clothes. And they said, like, nobody is not touching their masks. And I've seen people on TV, politicians and health experts supposedly telling people to wear their masks, is they pull them up because they're slipping down or their nose is starting to show. And I think, okay, how can you complain at people not wearing masks when who's wearing their mask correctly anyways?
Right. Doesn't seem anyone is.
Yeah.
And like they said, each individual person needs to be fitted for a mask. They need to have their individual health histories taken so that they know which mask is correct for them. Taking a piece of t-shirt or a grandma's old blanket or whatever because it has a cute pattern on it, it just isn't doing the trick. Yeah. It's all for show.
One of the other things that stood out to me during the gala from, I think it was Kristen who was talking about her daughter, she just brought out the fact that she became suicidal because of being cut off from others. And I know that she was kind of talking about children not being able to go to school. But this whole issue, I mean, it's not just the mask, it's the fact that we have not been able to be social with one another, and there have been impacts upon our lives that we need to recognize. And anyway, I thought of that, and I feel for the kids. So.
Absolutely, and that's just it. You know, if we're going to have these rules, at least, you know, follow the rules in the sense where nobody has even asked OSHA. And wouldn't that be the first place anybody were to go if there was some type of a concern for the public safety? OSHA is a big deal, and nobody from the CDC or the government has spoken to OSHA about masks and that they just aren't effective. So anyway, we're going to talk more, but we've got to take a quick break. It just goes so fast. I knew it would. We'll catch you right back after this on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county.
Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
Hop in the rig and go down the road with me. We'll cover local and national stories that impact you. What happens with national debt? Does anybody even care anymore? Do you think Governor Burgum truly understands the legislative process?
You know, I think he's got a better understanding now than he did 2 years ago.
Why in the world are we having a conversation about being anti-vaccination? Down the Road with Joel Heitkamp weekdays at 5:30 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Pub 21, your one stop for fun, drinks, and food. Our spacious facility provides COVID-safe fun for you and all your friends. With nightly bingo and specials, you can be sure there's something to do for everyone. If you're staying in for the night, we've got you covered just across the way with Pub 21 Liquor. We have a wide variety of options, from wine to whiskey and everything in between. Stop in today at 1014 South 12th Street in Bismarck to see what all the buzz is about. You won't be disappointed.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. We're going to kind of fast forward. We talked about masks. Now we're going to get into something else that you haven't heard of. Vaccines, right?
What?
I know. It's just, there's always new information coming and there's new stuff that people need to know about. But the one thing I want to make clear, you know, they call it a vaccine, but technically speaking, it's not a vaccine. Check out this definition right from the CDC itself. A vaccine effectiveness, okay, it's the ability of a vaccine to provide protection against disease when used under field conditions. Example given, use of the vaccine in routine practice. And then the vaccine efficacy, the ability of a vaccine to provide protection against disease under ideal circumstances. Example given during a clinical trial. So this comes to mind, all right? So a vaccine is supposed to protect you against a disease. This doesn't protect you against a disease. They tell you that you can still get COVID with this vaccine, therefore it doesn't make it a vaccine. But what we learned from Tammy, she was here, or she was on Zoom last week, and then she was at the gala the other night. The only reason that they are withholding the medication to help when you are diagnosed with COVID, like the hydroxychloroquine and the ivermectin, is because if there is a treatment for any disease, if there's any treatment whatsoever, they can't call it a vaccine. And so call it a conspiracy if you want, but those are facts. You can look it up, check it for yourself. But if a disease has a treatment, you cannot have a vaccine. A vaccine is for something that has zero treatment. And so that is really false information that they're giving to the American public, or the world. I shouldn't say the American public, but the entire world.
And if it's the entire world, then what is the reason?
Well, it also backs up, and that would be the reason, is that to go full steam ahead, they had to show that there was no treatment. So therefore, they could go work on the vaccine. And it also backs up with Dr. Peter McCullough said, and he's a medical school instructor at Texas A&M. He specializes in internal medicine and heart and lungs, or heart and kidney, sorry. And he said that it's very strange because he talked about the different kinds of treatment and that typically you need more than just one drug, that it's a combination depending on the patient and what kind of symptoms they're seeing. And he said, it's very strange. He's never seen anything like this where they're kind of burying the treatment aspect of it. And he feels that 85% of the people that died shouldn't have had they been treated. And,
right, because they're just sending you home, and it's like, if you get worse, go to the emergency room. That's what they're sending you home with. That's the information they're giving you when they know that there is no treatment out there. So this is all about getting everyone on board with a vaccine. There's no other answer to it.
Yeah, I'm definitely, I'm leery about the vaccine. I mean, I have friends that have been vaccinated, and you know, we all get to choose, and I'm going to say that. I mean, we all get to choose, and right now, I mean, I've received different vaccinations throughout my life. With this one in particular, though, I'm nervous because it's so new and it hasn't been properly tested. You know, I'm going to be traveling in a few weeks outside of the country, and last night I was looking to see what were the requirements in regards to my travel. And it's interesting when you look at what the CDC is saying coming back into the States. I don't know, I still need to research to see what the country I'm going to is going to require, but to come back, I have to have proof. If I've been vaccinated, all I have to have is my card that shows that I've been vaccinated. I don't have to have a test or anything. But if I have not been vaccinated, then I have to have proof that I don't have COVID. And so we know, I mean, just based off of what you've said, the vaccine is not proven to prevent you from becoming ill. But you still, I mean, just that card it gets you back in the country, no problem. But me, who hasn't been vaccinated, will have to go through the process of receiving a test, the anxiety of, oh my gosh, am I going to pass this test? Because sometimes it may come up a false positive, but I'm still not going to get the vaccine. So anyway, it's just such an interesting experience. And I really believe that we are being pushed towards a situation where people are going to say, in order for you to go somewhere or to come into my business or to do anything, you must be vaccinated.
Now that's a social card that I don't want to play.
Right, and Jan, you were looking, excuse me, at a story about a nurse who is fully vaccinated and is stuck where?
She went to Mexico, Playa del Carmen.
Playa del Carmen.
Del Carmen.
I'm not Spanish speaking, so I apologize for slaughtering that name, but she went with a group that went for some type of high school tour or whatever. They had an excursion there, and she was one of the chaperones. And she's a nurse, and so she was fully vaccinated. She was the only one on the trip that was fully vaccinated. She's the only one that got COVID while she was there. Luckily or unluckily for her, she paid the extra dollar amount that was required by the hotel to quarantine at the hotel. They will feed her. They have a guard outside her door. She can't leave her room.
Wow. Isn't that
It's
amazing?
that serious.
Now, this is interesting, getting back to Dr. Peter McCullough. One of the things he said, and he's had COVID, some of us have had COVID, is that once you've had it, you're not going to get it again. And there's been a few rare instances where people have said they got it again, and he said he's looked at the cases and he doesn't believe it. He thinks either they had a false positive. He does not believe they got it again. However, with the vaccine, they're saying, oh, you could still get it. And Dr. McCullough put me on this forum email list, so I just kind of go over and it looks at there's digest versions of comments and articles. And there was a Danish study that showed a 40% increase in infections the first 2 weeks after the Pfizer vaccination. And they seem, I won't go into detail on the study, but basically they looked at people who had gotten a placebo and those who had gotten the actual vaccine in care facilities where there hadn't been any COVID, and they said it really looks to them that there's a 40% increase caused by the vaccine.
Isn't that crazy?
And wouldn't that make sense? Your friend got the vaccine and she's the only one that got COVID.
That's really scary when you think about it.
So it's possible.
And Dr. McCullough also said that people who have already had COVID are the ones that should not get the vaccine.
Right.
Because they stand to have more severe reactions to it.
Isn't that crazy?
True.
But yet our government is telling us we all need a vaccine. Right. And it's like, who are they to tell us we need a vaccine? I will take the advice of medical professionals, and I want to hear both sides of the story.
Yes.
And that's what the problem is. Now, just Dickinson State University was on national news this morning because they are now claiming if you have proof of vaccination, you can go to college at Dickinson State and not wear a mask, but you have to have proof of vaccination, all right?
Okay, I have to say something about that. Honestly, does this not sound like Germany to you?
Yes.
I mean, hello, I have a band on my arm that identifies me as being a certain nationality, right? Or a religious group. And now you're going to be separated by those who have to wear a mask because they are not vaccinated, and those who are vaccinated, they get to walk with their faces clear. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is screaming tyranny, communism, hello.
They still carry the virus. You can still spread the virus after having the vaccine, and that's what's so crazy. And that's why we've all said, or we've said this all along, make sure you have all the information before you just jump on board and get a vaccine.
And I'm sorry, if you can get fake IDs to drink underage, don't you think they're going to get fake little vaccination cards?
I'm all for it. Yep. I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got that and more after these messages. We'll be right back with Ladies of Another View on Back.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Indoor football is back in Bismarck. Bucks football season is right around the corner. Grab a friend or family member for a night of action-packed, hard-hitting entertainment. The Bucks open at the Bismarck Event Center May 8th as they take on the Massachusetts Pirates. Catch the sweetest seats in the house right on the sidelines with VIP service at a Bucks turf table. Available now for single-game purchases. Secure your tickets today by calling 701-595-0771. Bucks football, half the field and double the fun.
At Beck Communications, we've been planning for your future. Over the past decade, we've placed nearly 200,000 miles of dedicated fiber optics in the ground. Enough fiber optic strands to circle the world 8 times. Taking no shortcuts, we connected every home and business in our service area with dedicated fiber optics. It's your personal, unrestricted, unthrottled connection to the world. Best of all, this dedicated fiber means you do not share your connection. We call this intimate dedicated connection Beck Fiber.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Ever been in a cave before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the car! How will we? The car! Your offer has been accepted. Ever bought a house before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the closing. But how will we? The closing!
Beck News brings you real people and real news. Every weekday on KNDB, KNDM, and KRDK. Start your evening with the Dr. Duke Show at 4. Take a fresh look at current events with Ladies of Another View at 4:30. Go down the road with Joel at 5:30. Watch No Apologies with Becker at 9. Cap off your night with No Filter with Debbie at 10. Beck News. Real people, real news.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Back. Solved a few world problems in between breaks.
Yes, we did.
We always do.
Did you guys hear a chicken in the
I
background?
heard a chicken.
Yeah, we did.
Spring. It is spring. You may not have heard it, but we did.
Easter
in our
thing.
ear.
Yes. So let's hop, because it's Easter, hop right in. I know.
You're so punny.
Oh, so are you. Oh gosh, I tell you what, it is one of those days though. I love it. Spring is in the air, right? Isn't that what?
Plus, if you give us 4 days off in a row, look out when we come back.
Right?
Who knows?
Little punchy.
It's a chocolate high. Anyway, we're going to jump right into Major League Baseball and the Georgia issue. How about that, ladies?
What do I
Come
say?
on.
They do this all the time. They put the pressure on them. They want them to conform. This is how they get what they want. I mean, it's pitiful.
Well,
Okay,
it's up
so-
to the fans, though.
But it's also insane. It's insane because the commissioner of Major League Baseball, they're centered in New York City, which has stricter laws than Georgia, just passed. And those are their state legislators. Like, are you saying our states don't get to do what they want? They can't vote on what they want, that we're going to be so woke that we're going to start to control the different states and we're going to punish the ones that don't agree with our woke philosophy? Like, I know things are getting crazy, but...
Let me just kind of, for those viewers that maybe didn't watch TV over the weekend, which I really had to catch up on some of it too,
Right.
just on the news. What Georgia has done, or Major League Baseball has decided to not have the, what is that?
All-Star game.
All-Star
game.
game.
Yep.
In Atlanta, and they've moved it to Denver because they don't like Georgia's voting laws, that they require an identification. Now, I tell you what, if you're going to a baseball game and you go to the will call window, what are they going to ask you for?
Need your ID.
Gosh, maybe an
I don't know.
identification?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I
If you
don't
want to
know.
buy a beer at that baseball game, Jan, what do you need?
I'm probably going to need to show identification.
Oh my
show
gosh.
age.
And it's like, it's just absolutely crazy. We're just not getting it on this end. Just not getting it.
Insane.
It's like,
in the membrane.
all right, so the most important thing that in our country is voting, you know, and that's the one thing that you don't need an identification for, but yet I need an ID to go ahead. I need an ID to use my debit card on some days.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what makes me kind of disgusted about this whole thing is baseball is like the symbol of America.
Yeah.
Come on, like, get over this. This is so beyond what is right and normal. I mean,
keep
just
politics
play
out.
ball.
Right?
Yeah.
Let us
It's
come and
serious.
watch and enjoy the sport. Yeah, keep politics out of this.
politics
I'm
out.
so disgusted by these organizations.
And now they're going, actually, excuse me, they're going to Denver, and Denver's
Oh, yeah, 'cause
voter
they're
ID laws are actually tougher than Georgia's.
Isn't that crazy? Right.
Insane. It
It's
used to
insane.
be that we'd stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance and sing the national anthem, and then they'd all scream,
Play ball!
Right.
And
Doesn't
basically they're
associate.
saying it's a partisan sport. And what, they only for liberals now, that we don't want conservatives being involved in baseball? Because that's what they're going to get.
Well, here's the crazy thing, too. They figure Georgia is going to miss out on $100 million in revenue. And a lot of those businesses are small businesses owned by minorities. So they're shooting themselves in the foot. These people have had a tough year with all of this COVID and closed businesses and whatnot. Here's a chance to get a chunk of $100 million. And they have decided to take it to Denver because Georgia's not worthy of a baseball game.
So we get to change our sports and we get to change our drinks. And what else are we changing?
Well, and just touching on the minority issue. I mean, seriously, the left, they could care less about the minority. They say they care, but when it really comes to it, they could care less. I mean, it's all about their message and what they're trying to get changed in regards to what we believe and what we do. I'm so over it.
Well, and this is the ironic thing, that the Wall Street Journal, which is not a conservative publication, said that Georgia's laws will be less restrictive than in Delaware, where Joe Biden is, and in New York. So what are they talking about anyways? What are they?
Is that
they
where
don't-
Joe Biden is?
I don't know where he's from, but so that's what the Wall Street Journal
That's
said.
where one of his homes is.
Oh,
Yeah.
One of his
Fair enough.
homes. But
He's just a politician who doesn't make that much money. So, sorry, that totally squirrel.
digressed.
Yes.
Totally
Pretty
digressed.
easy.
Oh, anyway, yeah, I'm so disappointed with that.
It is. I mean, it's just absolutely frustrating because, you know, I just feel so bad for the small business owners now.
Yes.
You know, just losing out on that much money this time of year when it was something that maybe would help them over the hump, maybe stay in business. There's a lot of people that are going to be, you know, closing their doors for good. And now here's an opportunity to make a little bit of extra money and they can't. I just get frustrated.
I'm wondering if there's contracts that are being broken as a result, because usually you have to plan way in advance for those kind of things.
I would think some of the vendors that are actually at the stadiums would need to be in a contract, but there's always vendors that are all around big events like that, you know, whether it's the MLB or the NFL or the whatever alphabet for whatever sport, it's, you know, there's usually people out selling plastic necklaces or, you know, pom-poms
but
or
even going to the mall,
whatever.
eating the restaurants, the malls,
Exactly.
the bars.
All of them that surround those stadiums. I mean, there's whole counties that are affected by that, not just the city itself.
The travel industry, that they've been going broke over the last year because of COVID. There's not as many travelers. The hotels are empty. The restaurants are empty. The pubs are empty. And here was an opportunity to get just a little shot in the arm, but they want to give you the other shot in the arm.
And now the airlines are going to be the next ones.
That's what they
You
said.
know,
That Delta,
they've kind of put some flights on hold. There's a lot of people that have been inconvenienced. They have not enough workers. There's people that I'm not going to get the shot, so I can't work for you kind of thing. And you're going to see a lot of inconveniences in your lives going forward.
But it's all about getting back to the vaccine. We've kind of come full circle here. It's like there are so many unknowns about it, and that's what the problem is. Now, even one of the guests that we had on last week, was it McCullough, Dr. McCullough? He had said that there were 8 people had accidentally gotten pregnant during the study. 50% of them miscarried. Let that sink in. 50% of them. And then in the lab rats as well, there was a lot of reproductive issues. And it's like, so these people that are in their reproductive years, which mine were just a couple years ago, but anyway.
Mine too.
So it's like, why take that risk until you know what the long-term studies are? You know, it's, I don't know. I just kind of went down a rabbit hole again.
The cartoons with the rats in them all say, have you gotten the vaccine? And the other rat says, no, I'm waiting for the human trials to be over with.
Yeah, we are a part of the largest control trial. I mean, I've said this before on the show. There's those that are choosing not to receive the vaccine. There are those who are choosing to be vaccinated. And so we are part of the trial. We're living through it right now.
Yes. There was a gal that, it was on one of our Facebook posts about mass, and she was going down for a PET scan. And she was from North Dakota going to Mayo, and they said that, have you had the vaccine? And she said yes. And their glands show up differently with the vaccine. And so they said, you have had, or that vaccine, you had to be clear, like, I should get my facts straight, but I think it was 14 days. And she may have driven all the way from North Dakota down to Mayo. I don't want to say the name of the town. I don't want to give her away, but to perhaps turn around. So they were going to find out today if she could even go on with this medical treatment, because she hasn't been far enough away from the vaccine, because it would affect the study. But they asked permission if they could follow her as part of their study.
Yeah, always the lab rats.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's the crazy part.
And you know, I'm not against science.
Absolutely.
I'm not against
good science.
Exactly. Like I am personally against or for science, for learning, for making our lives better. There's just something about this particular situation that we're in that it's just become way too politicized for me to feel safe with what's happening and to feel confident in moving forward with the vaccine. So.
And everything is being politicized, you know, like we started talking about baseball, but
here we are with this, but it's all about the vaccine.
Remember that? Yes. That's what we were talking about?
And the voting, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, if you have a vaccine card, that changes everything, but don't have a voter ID card, you know, that's not okay. But I think it's so hypocritical, and I want to make this point, is that the Chinese state media, which is a mouthpiece for the communist government, they announced they're going to be broadcasting the Major League Baseball games, and they are so coercive and controlling and forced abortion, and yet they're okay with that.
All right, well, we'll be back after this on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Today's households have more digital devices than ever before. More links to family, business, education, and entertainment. Beck Communications spent over 10 years building North Dakota's fastest fiber optic internet service. Beck Lightband Internet, outpacing speeds in large cities nationwide. Lightband Internet handles all your digital needs without throttling your connection to the world. Beck Communications, valuable digital connections in rural North Dakota.
Since opening in Hebron in 1940, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your hometown bank. Our mission has been to provide modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. We've grown with the communities we serve through year-round events, countless sponsorships, and nearly 7,000 hours of volunteering each year. Learn more about our 80-year history at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. We kind of went down a rabbit hole the other, just right back there, and she's just getting out of it. Anyway, so I wanted to touch base or get the facts straight for the gal that went down to Mayo. I'm just going to read this. It says as follows. I was at Mayo Clinic last week, and while getting screened before a PET scan, the tech asked me all about my COVID vaccinations. Since mine was Moderna, I got more questions. Then the tech asked me if it was okay to use their PET scan results in research they are doing with the vaccine. This all started because they can see injection sites of certain COVID shots, and the Moderna apparently shows a certain amount of lymph uptake at the injection site. I gave them my permission. The tech then asked me if my last shot was within the 14 days. If it was, my PET scan would have to be delayed. Thanks. We drive all the way from a city in North Dakota to Mayo, then we could have my test delayed.
Wow.
It's like, so she was really frustrated, and she ended it by saying, we are all test animals. And that kind of leans back to what you had said. But I wanted to show this quick, we kind of ran out of time on the last segment. Just take a look at what Rand Paul had to say.
Well, you know, they started it. Major League Baseball wants to boycott the whole state of Georgia, including Atlanta. They've already gotten rid of the All-Star game and the draft, and they're doing it because they don't like a Republican law, a law that actually expands voting and doesn't contract voting. Georgia now has more early voting than New York has, so it's kind of ridiculous. Even the facts don't meet what they're trying to do. But my point is, yeah, if they want to boycott us, why don't we boycott them? This is the only thing that will teach them a lesson. If Coca-Cola wants to only operate in Democrat states and wants only Democrats to drink Coca-Cola, God love them. We'll see how they do when half of the country quits drinking Coca-Cola, when half the country quits using Delta.
Yeah.
So the thing is they're all woke, but they're really doing something that is against the financial interest of every business. Publicly traded businesses usually don't get involved with politics because it hurts their bottom line to make half the country unhappy.
They're weighing in on everything. And it's interesting to me that Charles Barkley has spoken up about what he sees going on in the world. And as he sometimes does, he sort of put his finger on this. Let's put it up on the screen and tell everybody at home what he said. He said, I think most white people and black people are great people. I really believe that in my heart. But I think our system is set up where our politicians, whether they're Republicans or Democrats, are designed to make us not like each other so they can keep their grasp on money and power. They divide and conquer, says Barkley. What do you think, Senator?
Well, there's some truth to that, but it really isn't the right or Republicans using race. It's the left using race and saying everything is about racism. So any kind of grievance they have, they say the filibuster somehow is racist now, even though most minorities and people in the minority always supported the filibuster because it defended specifically minority rights. But the whole thing about this, I can't imagine they're boycotting the Georgia state law, and yet they do business with China. China's never seen a free election. China's now putting people in jail for over a year at a time for speech violations, and yet they do business with China. But Georgia expanded their voting. They added early voting. They have more early voting than Delaware and New York, and yet they're punishing Georgia because they think it's somehow some sort of Jim Crow. These people holding up Jim Crow, signs need to remember it was the Democrats who instituted Jim Crow across the South. It's the legacy of the Democrat Party, and what the Republicans have done in Georgia is expand voting access, if you read the bill.
Whoa.
Right?
Okay, I just got to say, first of all, two things were said there that I really liked. We have to boycott organizations that are trying to push their ideas upon us that we don't agree with, that
Absolutely.
are going against our belief
Amen.
system. Yep. The second thing is Charles Barkley is a rock star.
Yeah.
And he played for the Phoenix Suns, and I love the Phoenix Suns. Woo, 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 woo. That was something that Charles Barkley started when he played.
Is it?
And,
Is it?
yeah.
I thought Pretty
anyway, I
Woman
love
started
him.
that.
Well, maybe, but anytime he'd go out on the court, it was always a whoop whoop.
So I actually got his autograph when I lived in Sioux Falls.
Oh my gosh, I'm
I got
jealous.
it for my nephew. I didn't really know who he was, and a friend said, "Hey, Charles Barkley's out playing golf," and I said, "Oh, I think my nephew likes basketball. Did you get an autograph?"
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome.
And I had no idea how awesome it was. But,
Yes.
but getting back to the point,
Sorry.
it was just so.
Yeah.
Well, like
know,
you
so
said,
well said.
pretty soon it's going to be you're going to have to drink a blue Coke and a red Coke.
Yeah.
I mean, the division and the push for it is just, I guess to us, it's so obvious, and we can't understand why everybody doesn't see it.
Maybe call it a woke Coke and awake Coke. Because some of us are waking up and some are woke.
There you
And
go.
so there is a difference between being awake and woke.
I think with this whole Major League Baseball issue, it's obvious it's smoke and mirrors.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
if they really cared, they would not be okay with doing business with China. If
Yes.
they really cared about discrimination. Plus, they have clearly misunderstood that it is not discriminating against any race because it's expanding voter rights and keeping the integrity of the election, so they're misunderstanding it. So what is going on here? They're controlling things. They don't like that it was Republicans that pushed for this, so therefore we're going to punish you, and now we're going to go to another state. But it's not based on what they say their values are.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, absolutely boycott, please.
What happens to the Atlanta Braves? I mean, they're a Major League
Yeah,
Baseball team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, are they
With
just
a little tomahawk chop.
Yeah. I mean, are they just out?
I don't
I mean-
know. To be continued, that's for darn sure. But I tell you what, let's move along because it's kind of along the same line. They recently had caught 2 more terrorists that were on the watch list, the FBI watch list, coming across, guess where? The Mexican border, right? And it's
Shocker.
so there again, it's just the left policy is just crazy. Did I say that
It's
right?
beyond
because-
that. It's incomprehensible, honestly.
Who on the left is worried about vaccinations or COVID at the border? Have you heard anybody concerned about it at all? No.
No.
So are they really concerned about it, or are they worried about control? Because there's just so much inconsistency here.
But here's the deal, too. I want to show this. It's the Border Patrol deletes the press release on detainment of suspected Yemeni terrorists. And so it says, a Monday press release from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which confirmed the detainment of 2 suspects on the FBI's terrorism watch list at the southern border, is no longer publicly accessible. As of Tuesday, the link was removed. Now that's what we're dealing with. Then, fast forward to the CNN. This is what they had quoted. There is no evidence of a sudden rush of individuals on the terror watch list showing up at the southern border. The information that is available is vague and leaves many questions unanswered. That said, it's entirely false to imply a small number of individuals on the terror watch list coming to the southern border is a new phenomenon. Furthermore, it's worth noting that being on the FBI's terror watch list does not mean someone is a terrorist or has proven ties to terrorists.
Wow. I think I can trust CNN. I think they're a reliable news source.
That sounds like it was
Well, it's
written
just so
by
crazy. Someone else had put out the story that we need to watch these terrorists coming across, and CNN, no, they're not all terrorists. They might not be a terrorist.
Do you know what that's called? What
Could you
they're
tell
doing?
me?
It's called gaslighting.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, we have the facts before us, we know information, and yet they change it to make you think that you're going crazy. But the truth is the truth. And we were talking about this during the break, that there are so many things happening within our country now that were not happening when President Trump was our president. They were happening when President Obama was our president. Things like shootings, and now we have terrorists, and we're hearing more about the terrorist movement. I mean, I didn't hear anything during President Trump's term in regards to terrorists, not like we are now again. And so I'm thinking, why is this coming back? Obviously, the left has an agenda, and they are working, my belief system is to take down America.
And the left cared so much about the conditions for children and people at the border. I thought they cared about that. Well, it's worse now. How come they don't care now? You know?
And they're saying that there's no kids that are orphans or anything, but they're coming across the border as unaccompanied minors. It's kind of like parentless kids. They're not being taken away from their parents. The parents are sending them over here by themselves, or the coyotes are.
Well, yeah, but they send them here so that they have to come and get them and then accidentally get lost in our country.
Yeah.
You know, that's part of it.
With a hotel room and
yeah,
good
they get
food
free
and-
hotel, free food, free everything,
Yikes.
and we sit here and
complain about it.
Yep, yeah. Hopefully something will get done about it.
And the media is not allowed to cover it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with our lighter side, because there's always something to look forward to right after these messages on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Deciding how to promote your business can be hard. Visit the professionals at Dakota Promotions and Printing and let them help you through your struggle. Dakota Promotions provides promotional items and apparel, from corporate gifts to team shirts and everything in between. With quick turnaround times and friendly service, they are your best choice. And best yet, you're shopping local. Visit them online at dakotapromo.com or stop in their showroom at 320 West Main in Mandan. Dakota Promotions, delivering promotions just for you.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Indoor football is back in Bismarck. Bucks football season is right around the corner. Grab a friend or family member for a night of action-packed, hard-hitting entertainment. The Bucks open at the Bismarck Event Center May 8th as they take on the Massachusetts Pirates. Catch the sweetest seats in the house right on the sidelines with VIP service at a Bucks turf table. Available now for single game purchases. Secure your tickets today by calling 701-595-0771. Bucks football, half the field and double the fun.
I'm Rick Becker from No Apologies. Welcome to your after hours oasis of sanity.
How can these people not see that they're just clowns?
We help simplify and educate you on things going on in the legislature and around the country.
Asking the hard-hitting questions.
But also having Lee Stack and Sid and Marty Croft stuff, and we've talked about that sometimes. It's bad.
Watch us weeknights at 9 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. This comes to our lighter side. The whole day's been kind of light. I mean, it's been been fun to see everybody again. I really missed you guys over the weekend.
It's like family.
And hopefully everybody had a great Easter. Yes. But I found this video over the weekend on Facebook, but it is just so cute. It just reminded me of spring break. So this is in Yellowstone. Now, can you imagine just being in a parked car watching this happen?
Oh my word, that's amazing.
I would be afraid. Have you been to Medora when there's been buffalo on the road or anywhere?
Yes. They're usually just standing there, though.
It's a stampede.
Not
look
stampeding.
at this. Look at way up on the hillside, you guys.
Oh my gosh, look at the babies.
Yes, all the little ones and all the, I didn't realize, I mean, I knew they were all brown, but there's light ones and dark ones and, it's just amazing how many different colors of brown there actually are.
Well, you can tell how they are protecting their herd.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
you'll see
bulls are coming up and making sure around the outsides.
Yep.
It's like an all-natural traffic jam.
You know
And
what
it really is.
I would love to interview the people in that car afterwards and know how was it for you?
Wow.
Oh, look
Are
at
you
how
nervous?
big he is.
Wow.
His tongue is hanging out.
Wow.
That is amazing. I wonder how far they travel. Like, what's the distance that they're
but they used to migrate for, miles and miles. They would do charges for miles, back in the day when, they were being hunted and whatnot.
Come on,
look
kids,
at that
get in
mom.
line.
And she's going to sort him.
She's
She'll
going
come
to
and
be
sort
like,
him.
nope.
It's like, nope, we go this way.
Huh.
And
Wow.
that's just the herd instinct. So look, see way
It's
up on the
still
hillside, they're
coming.
still coming.
Wow.
There are just hundreds and hundreds of them.
I have never seen anything like that.
Well, I'm seeing it here on TV, but I've never seen it in person.
Right.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? And they are so dangerous. And then you do get those occasional, I don't know, Sturgis people. Where was that gal from? And she got attacked
Was it
by...
in Medora?
Yeah.
No, it was in Sturgis.
No,
it was.
Or
Okay.
the year before. She was in Sturgis and thought she could go up and pet a calf, and then the
dear.
mama cow came and just took her and swung her around
Yeah.
and tore her pants off. And so there were a few good memes
Yeah.
about that. She was okay. We'll just put that out there that she was okay. But it's like, these are wild animals.
Yeah, and quite a few years ago, there was a guy in Yellowstone that took his son up to go see a buffalo.
Oh, no.
And I don't remember. I know they didn't get fatally injured, but I think they did get hurt a little bit. And everybody is saying, what is wrong with that guy? Like, why do people think you can just go up to these animals?
Yeah, that's crazy, especially when they have babies. I mean, animals have that natural instinct to protect. Oh my gosh,
we
that's
do.
just crazy.
Yes.
You don't get between a mom and her baby.
Right.
Ever.
And so that just reminded me of spring break. Like they're making a spring break for it. And it's like, and just the, it's just great to see nature doing its thing. But it just reminded me of kids coming back from spring break too. I know.
Well, it
I
reminds
love
me
spring
of us.
break.
We just love it when the weather gets warm, right?
I know.
And
the
if you go to the
birds
zoo
out
in the spring, the animals are all lively and happy. It just
Yep.
is great to be outside.
That's
It's
true.
a great time.
It is. So then, have you guys been to Medora then too or not? I assume so, right? And so the herds aren't that big, but it is still fun to see them. A lot of times they'll just be stuck on the road, just sitting there, and you have to just wait until these buffalo move because you really can't move them along too quickly.
No, and if you start approaching them with your vehicle, they think you're aggressive, so they will charge.
Yeah.
Well, we were camping once at a Medora campground, and Mark had left with the older kids, and I was in the tent with our youngest, who was Jacob at the time, and there were buffalo walking in the campground. And I thought, what should I do?
Where is Mark, and why did he leave me?
I mean, what do you do to protect yourself against a buffalo? I know
And
what
I'm
to
in
do
a
if you're see a shark, you know, or a bear, but I don't know buffalo safety techniques. So I still don't. What should you do?
I think I would just
play dead,
curl up in a ball, and just not even.
They might step on you.
Don't run.
Yeah, don't run.
I don't know. Should you not run? 'Cause
I
do
not
run.
But I don't think buffalo pursue you, do they?
Yeah, they will. They'll chase you.
Well,
I don't know.
It depends upon the reason.
This might be false news, so maybe we shouldn't comment on
we
it.
better do some research.
We need to find this out because who knows?
Yes, our
Well,
viewers
no,
are
I grew up
wondering.
on a ranch, and cows will chase you to your death. They will. They will throw you up against, the barn or the corrals or whatever it might be. But yeah, no, the buffalo will chase you.
I think I'm safe in saying you can climb a tree, though, right?
You could a good sturdy tree.
I don't think there's buffalo because with bear, like I think black bear climb trees and brown bears don't. I don't know, but with buffalo, I think you can safely go up in that tree and he's not going to follow.
I think so too.
I think
I don't
we'll
think
let
his
you do
hooves could get around that tree
Yeah.
very well.
I found out over the weekend, though, that you can play squirt guns with chickens. My granddaughter was out. The weather was nice, so you do things that are more summer related. She took her squirt gun and she went out, and their chickens just love her. I mean, when she comes up, she can sit down, they'll climb on her lap, she can pet them or hug them. And she was going out squirting them all to make sure they didn't get too hot.
Oh my
considerate.
goodness. See, and I had college kids home over Easter, and I heard about, I don't even know if I should say this.
Is it?
Well, you have to now.
Is it G-rated?
Vodka in squirt guns.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
That sounds like a mess to me, but.
Oh, see, I used to put holy water in squirt guns.
Oh gosh, that'll get it there.
And do drive-by blessings.
Oh my gosh, that is something.
Oh my word.
Yeah,
Well,
just
they
take
got
that to the
squirt
You
bottles, why not a
Catholics.
squirt gun?
Well, it wasn't really a squirt gun. It was a spray bottle. My son was going out for the night.
You squirt
I
him.
just doused him. And he's like, Mom.
Oh my word.
I'm sure we all have kid stories like that.
I think that's going to have to be a whole story of itself.
How to keep your kids safe when they go out, yeah.
Well, we all have things that we've done with and for our kids that they would be horrified if we told anybody. So
Yes,
I'd be
isn't that the
horrified
truth?
if they told.
Yeah,
exactly.
True. It's a double-edged sword. So that brings us to the end of the show. We sure hope that you gained some information from us or just got a smile with some of the lighter side, but we're here to help. And if you have any questions, just go ahead, write us, call us. We'll get it on air.
Visit us on Facebook.
Or
Ladies
just
of
log
Another
on to
View.
beck.news. All right, we'll see you next time on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
See ya.